Let's set the scene, all right? It's 6:45 in the morning, the alarm blares, you stumble into the kitchen, and there it is, that familiar plea from your teenager, I can't function without coffee. Well, as a parent, handing them a large iced coffee on the way to drop off feels like an absolute lifesaver, right? They perk up, they make it through first period, and everyone survives the morning chaos. But what's actually happening behind the scenes? Come nighttime, falling asleep turns into a total battle. And by 6:45, the very next morning, they are just completely, absolutely exhausted all over again, probably reaching for an even bigger cup. It's this relentless, exhausting cycle. So, welcome to today's Explainer. We're tackling a huge question that so many families are facing right now. Should you let your teen use caffeine to wake up? Today, we're going to dive deep into why temporary alertness is never, and I mean never, a substitute for actual sleep. And more importantly, we'll figure out how you and your family can safely break this exhausting loop together. All right, let's get right into it. Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the caffeine sleep cycle, check out the pediatric guidance, unmask energy drinks and hidden sources, and look at the safety risks. Then we'll finish up with a 7-part family plan and a 14-day audit. Section 1, the caffeine sleep cycle, and exactly how this trap is set. Let's map out a typical day. 6:45 a.m., morning fatigue hits hard, so they grab that coffee. Fast forward to 3 p.m., they are crashing. Naturally, they need an afternoon caffeine hit just to drag themselves through homework or soccer practice. But here's the major catch. Caffeine stays active in the body for hours. So by 11:30 p.m., it's still lingering in their system, causing late-night sleeplessness. They fall asleep way later, the sleep is shallow, and boom, 6:45 a.m. rolls around, and the exhaustion just repeats itself. Short sleep and caffeine literally feed off each other in this destructive loop. Think about it like this. Caffeine is basically like slapping a piece of black tape over your car's dashboard warning light. It hides that flashing, low fuel signal of fatigue, making a teenager feel temporarily capable of starting a task. But guess what? It absolutely does not put a single drop of gas in the fuel tank. None. The real fuel, things like attention, emotional regulation, learning, and physical recovery, that tank only gets refilled through actual restorative sleep. Okay, Section 2, Pediatric Guidance and Limits. Let's look at what the medical experts actually say. So there is a massive difference between adult and teen guidelines. Did you know a single large iced coffee can easily blow past a teen's entire daily limit? The American Academy of Pediatrics says flat out, avoiding caffeine completely is the best choice for kids. For anyone under 12, the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry advises against routine use entirely. Now for teenagers 12 to 18, they suggest a maximum of 100 milligrams per day. But listen carefully here. That is a strict upper limit. It is not a daily target to aim for. And that famous 400 milligram rule you hear about all the time? The FDA explicitly states that is for most adults only. Definitely not your teenager. Moving on to Section 3, energy drinks and hidden sources. Basically, caffeine in disguise. This right here is a boundary every single family needs to draw. Pediatric guidelines give energy drinks a hard, firm no. Why? Because they are absolutely loaded with highly concentrated caffeine, huge amounts of added sugar, and extra stimulant ingredients like guarana. Now contrast that with sports drinks. Those are designed for specific exercise situations to replenish fluids, carbs, and electrolytes, and they do not automatically contain caffeine. So please don't rely on the product name or the flashy neon cans. Always, always check the label. Because caffeine, it's a total master of disguise. Your teen might look at you and honestly say, I only had 1 coffee today. But did they also grab a cola, maybe an energy bar, or a scoop of pre-workout powder before the gym? Even chocolate, gum, caffeine pouches, or over-the-counter headache meds can pack a serious caffeine punch. To get the real picture, you have to add up the total intake from all these hidden sources, not just that obvious morning cup. Which brings us to Section 4, Safety Risks and Warning Signs. What exactly should we be watching out for? Consuming too much caffeine leads to very real physical risks. We're talking restlessness, anxiety, tremors, a rapid heartbeat, elevated blood pressure, and even digestive issues. But here's the part that trips up so many families, the withdrawal. If a teen is drinking caffeine daily and just stops abruptly, they're going to get intense headaches, severe tiredness, and mood changes. So parents and teens see this and think, see, I need my coffee to function. Actually, scratch that. They don't permanently need it. They are just experiencing classic, painful withdrawal symptoms. And this brings us to a critically important safety warning. A dangerously sleepy teenager should never,
ever use an energy drink to drive. Yes, caffeine might trick their brain into feeling slightly less drowsy, but it completely fails to restore reaction time or safe judgment. Using a stimulant is never a free pass to continue an unsafe task. If they are severely tired, they need another driver. They do not need a can of caffeine.
Section 5, the 7-part family plan. How we can break this cycle safely. So, how do we fix this together? We start with the first 4 steps. Step 1, identify the real reason for use. Are they compensating for short sleep? Treating a headache? Trying to study late? You kind of have to find the root cause first. Step 2, make energy drinks and concentrates a firm, non-negotiable no. Step 3, calculate the total milligrams from all those hidden sources we just talked about. And step 4, which is incredibly vital, protect the second half of the day. Avoid using caffeine to push homework or gaming late into the evening, because that completely wipes out their natural sleep pressure for bedtime. Moving right along to the final steps. Step 5 is to replace the morning function entirely. Step 6, reduce regular use gradually. Remember those brutal withdrawal headaches we just mentioned? Yeah, do not quit cold turkey, or those will hit hard. Taper the caffeine off slowly. And finally, step 7 is to review everything after 2 weeks. Gather the evidence and see if their natural morning alertness is actually improving. Now, you might be wondering, how do you wake a teen up without a stimulant? Well, you lean into strategies that directly support the body's natural waking system. This means getting sufficient sleep the night before, getting bright morning light into their eyes right away, drinking a big glass of water, eating a solid breakfast, adding some physical movement, and sticking to a highly predictable wake-up routine. Look, these won't give a sudden chemical jolt, but they absolutely fill up that fuel tank we talked about earlier. Section 6, the 14-day audit, tracking without judgment. This is a deeply practical tool you can use together to evaluate progress. But, and this is key, it must be done completely without any judgment or shaming. For 14 days, just log these metrics: bedtime and wake time, how tired they are in the morning, and every single caffeine source with the exact amount and time they consumed it. Also note evening sleepiness and any headaches or anxiety. You're looking for hidden patterns here. Like, does that 3 p.m. pre-workout powder consistently predict an 11:30 p.m. bedtime? Do headaches suddenly appear on Saturday when they miss their school day coffee? By just writing it down, the data tells the story for you. Which brings us to a final, thought-provoking question to ask yourself today. Is your teen waking through sufficient sleep, or are they just repeatedly stimulating an exhausted body? It's a profound distinction, really, and it's the core philosophy behind current pediatric guidance. The ultimate long-term goal isn't just surviving that morning alarm with a quick fix. It's about building a sustainable routine where your teenager actually feels rested and ready to take on the day. Just something to chew on as you review your own family's morning routine tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you feel empowered to make some positive changes.